Do this little video. I gotta fix my nail. It's gonna drive me nuts. Welcome back for another video. Hi, my name is Hannah if we haven't met before. And if we have met before, hi, my name is Hannah in case you need a reminder. Hi. Today for this video, we're doing something a little bit different. So I do this sometimes where I'll do a wrap-up video, but rarely do I film a wrap-up just because I do enough reading vlogs and my Goodreads and Fable and all that jazz are just like very public, and so you can see my reviews whenever you want. So I don't do a wrap-up a lot, but when I think about it, I actually really love watching wrap-ups. They're like my favorite videos to watch, so I don't create them more. And I had a really, I would say, good reading month. And since I had a good reading month, I was like, I actually do want to just talk about these books for like a hot second here and just kind of share my thoughts and my takeaways and all that jazz. And so in this video, I'm going to do just part wrap up and then part TBR. And if you guys hate it, I'll never do it again. Well, even if you hate it, I might do it again because it's easier just to put them into one video. Sorry if my dog's barking. It's a really nice day out and everyone's walking their dogs. So as they walk by, he gets really excited and starts barking. And my neighbor is vacuuming. This is the point in the video, and I wonder about my purpose in life. Excellent. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and do a wrap up of this month's books, end of April, and then we'll get into May's TBR, which is crazy town to me that we're in May already. But anyway, let's talk about all the books that I read this month. The first two I read are not with me, but I'll just go through those. I read Junie, and this book was really good to me. I rated this book 4.5 stars. So if you don't know, the basic plot is this girl is a slave living on a plantation. She has kind of her grandparents. She has like cousins and other family members also working for this family. Her sister dies tragically of an illness. And when she goes to visit her sister's grave through a series of events, she gets haunted by her sister, who is a ghost. Her sister kind of puts tasks forward for Junie to solve so that it's kind of her unfinished business, and Junie tries to solve this so that her sister's soul can move on. Meanwhile, the daughter of the plantation owner is being courted off to somebody, and if she gets married, Junie's going to have to go with her to his new house, which is quite far away and not nearby, so she would like never see her family again. So she's kind of like wanting what's best for this girl though, because they have a friendship, but at the same time trying to solve stuff for her sister, at the also same time is falling in love. And it's all very messy, it's very complex, and I kind of like, Junie's kind of like a flawed main character, which to me is part of her charm, so that's what we're following. I absolutely love this book. I loved the writing. Kind of was actually spooky, like gave me some chills at times, so wouldn't recommend reading before bedtime, but otherwise such a good book, and I really loved it. Next, I read Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young, and I gave this book, I gave it 4 stars, you guys. I literally gave this book 4 stars, and I'm not a huge romance person, you gotta understand, but the way that this romance was done, I just think was really perfect. And I also agree with people that like the pregnancy trope could be awkward and could be weird, but I actually really liked that like this girl kind of always knew she wanted to be a mom. She didn't like how it happened, but she had the means to make it work. He had the means to make it work, and they just did that. They made it work. And what I like about the one night stand thing is it's like they just weren't in a position to date when they met. It wasn't because of any particular reason that they weren't dating, which is what I really like too. It's like right person, wrong time kind of situation. And so their love story was like really believable, really charming, really lovely. Most of the obstacles that they hit them were not because of miscommunication, because oh my gosh, when that happens, I hate it. So anyway, just really beautiful writing, lovely story, and the epilogue, enough to melt one's heart. Honestly, enough to melt Cruella de Vil's heart. That's how it felt. So good, so beautiful. 4 stars. Next, I read Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. So this is book 2 in this series. What is the series called? Oh my gosh, it's literally called An Ember in the Ashes series. So that's the first book, An Ember in the Ashes. This is book 2, Torch Against the Night. I gave this 4.5 stars. Did I? I'm lying to you. I gave this 4 stars. I ate it up, left no crumbs. I'm loving this series. I'm addicted to this series. I love that when the spines line up, they're creating a portrait, and based off where the spines are going, I'm hooked. I also love both perspectives in this POV, and this book actually I think had a third one. Yeah, so this book had a third person's POV pretty regularly in it, which I also loved because it's a character that we're kind of getting to know and coming to terms with. So yeah, 3 POVs in this one. Hello, extra good. We really love it. A lot from the first book just keeps going on in this one. This one's a little bit more adventurous as you leave the main kingdom. So it's a little bit more traveling, a lot of new characters are introduced, a lot of different paths cross and different missions happen. I really can't say anything without spoiling it, but 4 stars was a great continuation of the series, and I cannot wait to pick up book 3. So loved that. Next, I did it, you guys. I finished the tandem read. Now, again, I'm not going to say a lot about this because this is what, books 6 and 7? Yeah, 6 and 7 of the series. This is like, there's only one more book after this, which is Kingdom of Ash, which I'm going to be getting to. I have been filming a reading vlog with spoilers of me reading these 2 as well as reading Kingdom of Ash. So that will be out in due time. I'm not done with Kingdom of Ash yet, so whenever that comes out, just know it's coming. It's great. I can just tell you my star rating. I gave these both 5 stars. And as you will see in the reading vlog, I don't hate Kale, so I didn't hate this book. And I fell in love with a new character in this book. That's all I'll tell you about that. That's all I'll tell you about that. And you can make your own guesses as to other reactions to different things. But if you haven't read them, that's all the information I'm going to give you because I don't want to spoil anything. So these 2 books, 5 stars. Loved it. Took me forever, but I did it, you guys. And last but not least, of course, The Favorites by Lane Fargo, I say that a lot, sorry. I gave this 4.5 stars. I definitely get the J.Z. Jones in the 6. I really liked, it was fast moving. I liked all the reporting things. I liked all the diary-esque. I liked all the kind of foreshadowing at the beginning of the chapter with resolution at the end. I really loved that Garrett Lynn was in the documentary, so we got his like future tense stuff. He was one of my favorite characters in this book. For real, for real. I loved the flawed characters and everything. The only reason it wasn't quite 5 stars, you're gonna hate me, it's like the last quarter of the book. I wouldn't have ended the story that way. I think we had flawed characters. I think we had a lot of crazy, awful things happening. And so that last quarter didn't go where I thought it was going to, and it didn't go where I thought it should go. That's a really hot take, I know, but it was a little bit too tying bows on things that I didn't think we should be tying bows on, if that makes sense. I guess I wanted it to be a little bit more open-ended, and I didn't like how things wrapped up. I didn't like it at all. But I loved the book, and I loved the writing as a whole, and I loved the concept, and I get it, and I think it's amazing. So 4.5, which is not a bad rating at all. So 4.5, amazing. And then this book I'm not done with. In fact, as you will see, I'm only like a third of the way in, and that is Funny Story by Emily Henry. In case you didn't know this, I'm from Michigan, born and raised. I still live in Michigan, and I love this state. I love so much about it, and this book takes place in Michigan, coming from a local, like the male interest is a local Michigander, and then it's a girl who's just like moved around the country her whole life and like came to Michigan. If you don't know the basic premise of it, these 2 become roommates after their significant others, who were also childhood best friends, decided that they had feelings for each other. And so they find themselves without other means to live. Like, she doesn't know anywhere else to live, our female protagonist, so she moves in with our main guy, Miles, over here. And I'm eating it up and left no crumbs. And everyone had always told me, so here's the thing, this is my 3rd Emily Henry book. I've read People We Meet on Vacation and Happy Place. Both I really enjoyed, but I wasn't like, after reading those, I wasn't like, Emily Henry's the author for me, and Emily Henry can do no wrong, I need to read all her books. But a lot of people who feel indifferent about this book, the way they described Miles, who is our male protagonist, they were like saying all these things, and I was just like, I think he's the guy for me. And then my best friend was literally like, yeah, I didn't love him, but I think he might be the kind that you love. And they are all right. They are absolutely right. And I'm loving him so far. And again, wait, I just read the part about the lemonade, and they're having lemonade in the front cover, and I didn't know that. Oh my gosh, wait. And then it's on the side. Sorry, just having a full-on meltdown in the moment, and I just didn't realize. Anyway, where was I going? Oh yeah, I'm just talking about it now because it won't be in another wrap-up video, probably. Because I'm going to finish it by the end of the month, even though I'm filming this TBR a couple days before the end of the month. So I'm just telling you that I'm getting 5 stars feelings from this, even though I'm not done yet. So I'm just telling you that I'm getting 5-star feelings, and that I'm loving that he has, kind of, not loving that he's a broken family, but I love that they have both come from like really broken backgrounds, and only they can relate to what they're going through. And I'm loving the friendship and the growth that's blooming out of this friendship, besides the fact that there's like a fake dating trope going on as well. So yeah, I'm just kind of eating it up. I'm loving it, and I predict that this is going to be 5 stars. So that's the only reason I'm talking about it. If anyone gets blown out of proportion and really wants my thoughts on it, I will talk about it again at the end of May. So, but I don't think anyone cares about my opinion on this book. However, I'm loving it. and I think it's gonna be 5 stars. So with that in mind, that was a very successful month of reading. Like literally no 3 stars. It was all 4.0 and above, which is crazy, but it is less books. So like on average last year, I read 10 books every single month. And obviously this is a pile of 6 or 7 books. And so that's been kind of my norm this year. And I don't hate that. I think that I'm finding my rhythm with like reading more books that I love. And also some of these books were just longer. And so it's like, I want to be able to not think about the number hitting my tally for my reading goal, but I want to get to the end of the year and be like, I loved all the books that I was reading this year. I loved where I put my time and energy reading wise. And I think that's what I'm doing. So I love that for me. I kind of love that for me. And so without further ado, I'm gonna use my TBR jar. Now, I talked about this in another video. I don't think it's out yet, but as I was filling out my reading journal, I always do like my book blinky, which is just a reading challenge like any other, where it's different. Like I get to fill in a quilt square for every one of the challenges I complete. And so I went ahead and filled up this with those prompts because I was like, sometimes I just don't even think about filling out my challenge in my book, and it just made more sense that they overlap, so that if I do read the book off my TBR that fills this prompt, then I get to fill in the square in my reading challenge, my journal. Makes sense. Yet I haven't done it before. So that's what we're doing. I'll do 6 books. 1 book is going to be book club's book, which why don't we just talk about that first? Next month on my Patreon, if you didn't know, we have a book club, and this next month we are going to be reading Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. I love Jessa Hastings. Magnolia Park series, one of my favorite series of all time. Beautiful writing, beautiful lady. Love to see it. She came out with this book that isn't part of the Magnolia Parks universe, but based off reviews I've been seeing, like kind of brings up certain characters from that world or pays homage to certain moments, which just makes me so excited for the next Daisy Hates book. Anyway, but if you want to join book club and read this book with us, it's just one of my most anticipated reads of the year. I'm really excited to get to it over there on the book club channel. So if you want to join us, as always, link in description. Otherwise, let's get these prompts going. Self-help book. Ew. Okay, I know it's not on the shelf. I think I'm going to be like everybody's mother, brother, sister, cousin, aunt, estranged, I don't even know. Like everybody's everything is reading this book, The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. You know what? I'll audiobook it because I do love her podcast. I love her wisdom. I'm only rolling my eyes because everyone's reading it right now, but I do actually think it's a book that I will enjoy. So we're going to do it. I shouldn't sound so sad about it. I'm not sad about it. I'm just, sometimes you want to just be so individual and unique, but like you're not. And that's how I feel right now. I'm just going to not be that unique, and that's okay. Author named Hannah. My name is Hannah. I can't do this again. I can't do it again. You will all murder me if I do that again. I'm not going to do it again. Don't worry. I'm going to surprise you. All right. Kristen Hannah. That's my name. Never said first name. Just said name was Hannah. The Great Alone. I don't know anything about this. This is set in Alaska. If you don't know, Kristen Hannah does historical fictions primarily. And so this is a historical fiction. I don't know what it's about. Alaska, 1974. Wife and daughter head north to America's last true frontier. Will do anything for the man she loves. Caught up in a riptide, stormy relationship. Winter is approaching. Darkness is descending. A lot's going on here. So every time I read one of Kristen Hannah's books, I need a week to recover. So this surely will be no different, and it's thick. However, I am tired of putting the women on here and not reading it. So I think that I need to put something on here that no one's telling me to read, but that I know I will enjoy and love. So we're going to do The Great Alone by Kristen Hannah. 3 more. Set in a small town. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Literally, I just pulled it out and it was perfect. Okay. I'm going to be reading The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. Book 2 of this just came out and it's gaining a lot of traction. I don't know why. Well, also this is a library book I have, which is why it's so shiny, and it's definitely due in a couple days. So this is going to be like my first read of the month for sure. And I know nothing about this other than it's gotten really, really good reviews. But literally the first sentence on the back is, in the small mountain town of Jasper, North Carolina. Sold. Book set in a small town. So it sounds like a lot of her loved ones have died and she's starting to see things or hear things, and she doesn't know if they're hallucinations or they're leading her to like a killer or uncovering the mystery behind certain deaths in her family. And that's what I'm getting from it. So I'm excited to read this one. And I'm sorry I don't know more about it. Book number 5. Okay. Fairy tale retelling. Ooh. Can I possibly do this? I don't know if I should do this, but I fear I must. I am going to be reading Never by Jessa Hastings. So if you didn't know, this is like a Perry Pan. This is a Peter Pan-esque story. Growing up, Daphne always knew Peter Pan would come for her. Yeah, basically a different version of Peter Pan spin-off. This is the closest thing to a fairy tale retelling I have on my shelf. However, does it feel wild to have 2 Jessa Hastings books on here? Kind of. But I love how this book feels in my hands, and this was on my 25 to read in 25 this year. So it's kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So let's do Never by Jessa Hastings. Jessa Hastings. I don't know how to read. This one's kind of funny. Okay, book that made you cry. I think that this was one that went on my quilt. So in general, it's like, I'm going to say book that I'm predicting on this shelf will make me cry. I see it already. There's no world in which this doesn't make me cry. Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. If you don't know, I'll tell you about it. So this is another one of her prequels that's coming out. It is Haymitch's story. So if you haven't read the original Hunger Games, I'm just telling you because you know that this is about him. Haymitch was a District 12 victor and the only one going into the Hunger Games where the Hunger Games take place. So that makes him the mentor of the tributes that are going to go fight. If you don't know how Hunger Games works, it's a bunch of children selected from each district that go and fight to the death for one victor to come out. So on his year, he came out alive. We know that going into the original series, so I don't feel bad telling you that. So this prequel is all about him and his Hunger Games. And in the Hunger Games, they have things called quarter quells. So every 25 years, something is changed up about the game to make it either more extreme or make it really different or make it engrossing. Like, I don't know, it's like a celebration, but it's kind of crazy. So in his, we know that they had double the amount of victors put in because he was in one of the quarter quells. So it's literally he has to kill double the amount of children than others to survive. And we know that he did it. We just don't know the story behind it. So this was on my TBR last month, but I think it's going to hold true this month. To recap, for the month of May, I will be reading The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, Never by Jessa Hastings, The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young, The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. And that concludes my April wrap-up and my May TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time with another book video. Love you.